Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello.
Dum dum. Yeah. Yeah. Probably has. No, else. No pressure, don't worry. There's just be a little one there for the close up. Whatever's comfortable for you, honestly, whatever's comfortable. Yeah, just it's simply this. That's all it is. We'll just talk. It's literally it. It looks, yeah, and we'll email or send you the link to the recording show as well. If you want to back it yourself, I don't like it personally, but the actual video will send you it as well. So don't like looking at yourself. Yeah, so do I. Yeah. I just find that I sound really loud. I don't like that. You sound quite first. Really? That's good then. Does the boys speak? That's good there. Yeah, it's just a social thing. So yeah.
And then we'll go to like a feature film. I'll cut away to that, and we can do you do it for 10 seconds to film first. Then you'll see people waving. You won't see me walking towards the camera and running into
Nah, we'll play a. Yeah, I might say that, and you might be like, and I'm like that all the time, so I'm like this all the time. Hello.
Hello and welcome to CUTV News. So today we'll be talking about a lot of things, starting with Cardiff University received the Queen's Anniversary Prize for its Geoenvironmental Research Center. Then we'll talk about the new policy that smokers and obese patients from Cardiff and the Vale of Glamorgan will have to undergo lifestyle courses before they undergo surgery. Then we have a video from the annual members meeting. Then we'll end with the weather forecast. If you have any thoughts or comments about the show, then tweet at Cardiff Union TV with the hashtag CUTV News. I'm Suri, and this is
James Ellis. And I believe we have a very special guest. We have the pleasure of having our lovely Dr. Alid Davis in, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about the research centre that tackled the legacy of past industrial activity and provided solutions to the world's future energy challenges, and it has been recognised for its achievements. So how are you today?
I'm not bad at all, thank you.
And it's lovely. We've had a great chat, haven't we, before the show? Absolutely. And it's lovely to have you in today. It's a pleasure. So we'd like to say thank you on behalf of CUTV News. Could you tell us a little, or tell everyone at home and us a little what the project's about at all?
Well, the Geoenvironmental Research Center has been going since 1997, really, and it's been really tackling a lot of the problems of our industrial past. We've been looking at things like land remediation because of all the chemicals and the pollutants which are in the ground. So we've been trying very hard to get those pollutants out and how to treat them or keep them in so that they don't transport themselves through the ground and go into groundwater and so on. But more recently, under the CEREN project, we've been working on more on the geoenergy side. So we're really trying to address the energy consumption and also the waste issues within South Wales, Europe, and even the world.
That's absolutely fantastic. And this is part of the engineering school, isn't it? Indeed.
Yes.
In Cardiff, School of Engineering.
That's right. It's a research centre set up within the School of Engineering, but it's also a recognised centre of expertise as well. So one of the few in Britain that's been recognised to that extent.
This is something to be extra proud of. And you are a CEREN Research Fellow, and we talked a little about that earlier. Could you explain to everyone at home what's that about as well?
Well, I've got an odd relationship with CEREN because I have been on both sides. Up until a few months ago, I was an industrial collaborator. So I've been outside CEREN trying to help them get industry involved and to do experimental work on site and so on. So, but I've recently now returned, having been a student and a lecturer here many years ago. So it's quite odd that I'm coming back into the fold. But the type of work we're working on at the moment is we're looking at three main areas: the use of the ground and the energy within the ground for heating of properties and buildings. We also look at using coal, which is sort of uneconomical to mine. So we're looking at things like how to gasify that coal, what comes out when you're gasifying it, how do you treat that gasification. So we really want to be generating electricity, but we understand the pollutants will be coming out as well. So we have to try and remedy that and look to optimize the gas production. And also we're looking at things like carbon sequestration. So this is really putting CO2 into the ground and to store it in the ground.
So this is excellent for the issues like global warming, things like that, isn't it? Really, it's great help on that, isn't it?
It really addresses the climate change agenda, and unfortunately a lot of the energy that we produce still has a lot of CO2 accompanying it. And one of the ways we're trying to address that is industry is looking to try and capture as much carbon as it's being emitted. But once you've caught it, you've got to put it somewhere. And the technology we've got at the moment is the government is driving for that CO2 to be pushed into the North Sea, put into the old oil and gas fields. But the cost of doing that is quite prohibitive. And we're looking at, are we able to get that CO2 into the coal seams, into the rocks, which are far, far below us, and to ensure that when we do put it in, it stays in.
Yeah. Well, that would be that's very important. And can you tell us? Yeah, I mean, you were a student at Cardiff, aren't you? Really? So Cardiff holds a special place for you, doesn't it?
Many years
The
ago,
city and the university,
yes.
because you've been wandering around, looking at all the new places and things like that in the Students' Union.
It's a lot flashier than it was in my
We're pleased about that. And also, as a sort of as you're sort of a model of inspiration, if you like, for engineering students and things like that, what was your own role in this particular project?
I've never been called a model of inspiration
Ah.
before, but thanks. For me, it was about coming back into the department. You mean, or
Yeah, your role in the project and how you feel about coming back in the department and things like that.
absolutely. Really, the environmental and the energy side is so interesting. It's the business I had was looking at renewable energy, and we worked a lot in ground source heat pumps. So we're using the ground, we're using the environment to try and provide cheap, economical heating for people. So we're addressing things like fuel poverty and so on. And to have an opportunity to come back into CERN and the School of Engineering has been great, because they're really pushing on the agenda. They're able to start to influence policy making and legislation and so on. And we'll have to transition, and we need to have certain things in place to ease our energy demands and to try and help us move towards a more renewable, sustainable and more environmentally friendly system of providing energy.
And really, what is the scope of this project? And do you think further research can be conducted in this area? Or do you think this project is it now? You've achieved it? Or
Well, when we started looking at, let's say, energy from the ground, we didn't even look at things like mine water. Mine water, with all the mining that's been in South Wales and all the abandoned mines, they're all flooded, and that water has usually been looked at as just being a pollutant. But now we're looking at that water as being a big energy reservoir. And so if we're able to tap into that reservoir, so wherever there are mine workings, as fingers beneath the ground, you're able to tap into those mine workings, abstract the water, take the heat out of it, and that heat then we can start using to develop and regenerate areas. So we're looking at maybe developing new housing estates all on district heating, using heat pumps. We're looking at mines providing the energy for things like the industry. So that's a massive area, and again, cooling comes into it as well. So we were able to, like, this building is pretty warm. So instead of just getting rid of the heat, we can put it into that reservoir, and when we're ready to use it, we can just take it out again.
This research is almost mind-boggling, but it's absolutely excellent. And I know you have a fantastic video on the Cardiff website that everyone should check out. So everyone at home should check that video out, because we were talking about how fantastic that is. That is earlier. It's a fantastic video. So definitely check that out on cardiff.ac.uk. And just one or two last questions. How do you feel about the Queen's Anniversary Prize? Because I know it's very, very highly regarded.
The university's won quite a few in the past, but it's still a fantastic honour. It's across the UK. It's the highest educational prize that we can actually get.
Which is just phenomenal. It really is.
It's a great honour on behalf of the university. It's a great recognition of the work that the School of Engineering has done, especially the research of the Geoenvironmental Research Center. So it's a great pat on the back for many people who've been involved in that over 20 years nearly.
It's so much to take in. And just quickly, how do you think this project will benefit people in Wales? If it will benefit people in Wales, how do you think it will?
Well, it's already benefited a lot of people in Wales, because we've been able to look at remediation of land. So there's brownfield sites which you can begin to build houses on, or at least stop the pollutants migrating to other areas or into groundwater, more importantly.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at things like mine water, as I mentioned, so regenerating areas of that site. But really about this transitional energy, where we could well be looking at coal bed methane. Methane's been a problem in mines. Now we're trying to use it as a source of energy for producing electricity and possibly a chemical industry around it. So really addressing things like fuel poverty, getting people back into work.
So we have our very own, to summarise, our very own BA. You got a BA at Cardiff,
BSc at
a
Cardiff,
BSc, a Masters,
yes,
and a PhD.
that's right.
So we have our own Cardiff student. Absolutely fantastic. And we thank you so much for coming in. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's been great.
Cheers.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll have a video
Of
the Vox Pop. No, of the
video the actual video that I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
on the Cardiff website of your research and things that you've been doing. Okay. So we'll show that to people at home because I did say talk to us about it. Tweet us at Cardiff Union TV, hashtag CUTV News.
Many people would not think of our planet as a living, breathing organism, and rarely see it as anything other than a solid, unchangeable object. But beneath the Earth's skin lies a beating heart and a flowing, fluid system that affects us all. And we are changing this system. We are changing our world. With a constantly growing global population and an ever-increasing need for energy comes an increasing quantity of waste. Lots of waste. Throughout human history, our solution has been to simply bury that waste. But as our technologies have become more and more sophisticated, the pollutants that we put into the ground have become more and more toxic. Some, such as nuclear waste, do not degrade for millions of years and is a serious risk to our lives and future well-being. This is because everything in our globe is connected, from the soil in the ground to the water we drink and the food that we eat, with an intricate fluid system underneath the Earth's skin connects us all like the blood in our veins connects our organs. But just like we all have a responsibility to look after our own bodies, we must look after our world, not just outwardly, inside as well. This is one of the many things that geoenvironmental engineering looks at. How the waste we create in our Earth affects us and how we can build structures to safely contain this waste within our world for many years to come. Cardiff University's Geoenvironmental Research Center is at the forefront of this research and has pioneered many advances such as the world-leading program COMPASS that can predict how dangerous pollutants will flow through our Earth and ultimately the solutions needed to safely contain this waste within our planet. We are not only looking at ways that we can protect our fluid living Earth from the toxic waste we put into it, but our geoenvironmental engineering work is discovering new ways to use our planet's natural flowing system deep in the ground to help us meet our population's future energy needs. SEREN is a groundbreaking research project that is helping to identify ways in which the Earth's natural resources can generate clean, environmentally sound, sustainable energy. Where the processes beneath our Earth's fragile skin may be one part of the puzzle in providing for our future energy needs. We are not only looking at ways to protect our world against the waste from our energy needs, but we are also looking at how our beautiful planet itself may be one part in the solution to create green, sustainable energy, not only now, but for generations and generations to come.
And now we're back in the studio. I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said, if you do engineering and you're interested in what me and Dr. Alid Davids just talked about, please tweet us at Cardiff Union TV, hashtag CUTV News.
Yeah, and next we'll have a video of a Vox Pop where we ask Cardiff students about what they think about a new policy, which states that from the 1st of December, which is next month, we'll have smokers and obese patients who will be undergoing surgery. So before the surgery, they have to undergo a lifestyle course, which basically will help them cut weight and quit smoking, hopefully. And the local health board said that that would really help in having a successful surgery when they do have that. There's also an exception that in case of an emergency surgery, that won't happen. And also if it's a surgery related to cancer, again, they do not need to undergo that course. But the National Obesity Forum said that the policy was expensive and could yield few benefits. So here we have the Vox Pop of asking Cardiff students about what they think.
Hello, I'm James Ellis and this is CUTV News. Tonight we'll be darting around the Students' Union, asking people how they feel about the idea that you will have to, from December the 1st, you'll have to have a smoking or obesity course if you're over a certain weight or if you smoke before your surgery. And here we have Tom, VP of Media and Marketing, I believe. And how do you feel about this implement on surgery?
One worry I have, one concern would be that it might sort of intimidate and scare people away from getting the healthcare they need if they feel sort of under pressure or victimised or sort of under scrutiny for smoking or being obese. Then that could stop them going to get the healthcare they need.
A lot of people have I think their view of smokers and smoking is very condescending. Like, they seem to act like it's some sort of health issue they can just fix. And I don't know, like, when you're dealing with addiction, like, I don't think a course is really the best way to go about stopping, like, the root of the cause. Like, you get a lot of trouble in towns or rehab centers where people leave and then immediately get hooked on whatever they ended up in the rehab center for. Not everyone, obviously, and there are lots of great success stories. But it's complex. It's far more complex than just taking a course.
How would you feel about this if this was implemented on you? If you had to attend smoking and obesity courses, diet courses, if you needed surgery?
Well, I think I would understand the main idea behind it, but I would feel it's a bit unfair to do it on me and not someone else. And I would be maybe scared that it would make my surgery delayed. So I think there's a good idea behind it, sort of trying to make people more healthy. Or it might be discriminative towards some people.
I think it has the potential to be effective, but honestly, is anyone going to stick with it? Like, everyone knows how hard it is to quit smoking. Like, I really don't know if like a lecture on, hey, here's a few tips, is really going to help someone. I think you have to have like constant like monitoring and loads of people like watching you all the time and like, you know, helping you, supporting whatever. So I think it's kind of like a step in the right direction, but I think smoking wise it's not going to be productive enough. Like, food wise, again, if you really want to eat and you are that obese, you're just going to carry on after your little lesson, aren't you? So I don't feel like it's going to be that effective, to be honest.
I think it'll help because actually having somebody telling you to do to change things and to change your lifestyle, like it can't have, like, unless they execute it really badly, it won't have negative effects. But to say that it'll significantly improve things, that is something I think you'll have to look at in about 10 years or so.
Excellent. And can we swap shoes?
No.
Hey, so as you could see, James did the Vox Pop, so how was it? What were the reactions and everything?
Yeah, the reactions were quite mixed, actually. Some people said, oh, smoking would be good, and smoke
Yeah.
prevention courses, not smoking, we all know that's bad.
Yeah.
Smoke prevention courses would be, they would be beneficial and that people would benefit from that. And others said, listen, at the end of the day, if you want to eat badly or you do suffer from obesity and you want to smoke, then a course isn't going to stop you. And at the end of the day, it's a massive stretch on the NHS's finance and things like that to undergo this course. That was the sort of general reaction. We had some great comments from some very smart people around Cardiff Student Union. So.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, it was really, it was quite fun actually. Yeah,
Okay.
we were quite happy with the responses.
Yeah.
And we were quite happy also with the responses of the annual members meeting, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
And we are lucky enough to have the fantastic Adam Juice, the head of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and other. Is that correct? Trans plus. So, and he is the officer of that. So he's great work going on around the students' union already.
Yeah.
He talked to us. You were at the annual members meeting, weren't you?
I was indeed promoting a heavily controversial motion, which I thought needed to be put forward to the students. About the role of the VP Media and Marketing. And I'm very happy that it got put to the students. The motion didn't pass, but I think that all the media platforms and the VP Media and Marketing have learned a lot from that motion.
Yeah, because I understand they did say the whole motion wasn't passed. There were bits of it that he did say, I'm definitely going to take this on, because you've done very well in fighting a corner in that sense of that motion. You've done very well public speaking. So you've done a great job in that. But on other news, just quickly, what was going on today? Where were you just now?
Today I was on the 3rd and 4th floors of the Students' Union because this evening was the official opening, as both the 3rd and 4th floors have undergone huge refurbishment for this academic year, with the Officers' Bowl and the surrounding communications department and other extracurricular departments. And on the 4th floor, there's new meeting rooms. And we had the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Patricia Price, lots of P's there, coming in to cut the ribbon. And we had Father Jones, the Catholic chaplain, and a lot of other dignitaries to see the improvements because all of this was funded by a grant from the university.
And how is it upstairs? Is it nice? Is it?
Yes, yeah, they're very good. They're very flexible rooms, and I believe they're even being used for seminars during the day because of their flexibility and space. So definitely a major improvement.
So it's great progression, really. It's good for you to see that as well.
Yeah.
Was there champagne as well?
There was. I had a few glasses of champagne.
Oh no, drinking then coming on there. Oh come on, Adam.
Smuggled some in. CUTV, why
not? So yeah, that's great news. So we'll just pop back to the news on the annual members meeting as well.
Yes.
You did say about your motion.
Yes.
And we do have CUTV did cover Adam's fantastic motion, fantastic speech, and other motions and speeches. And we have got a video for you here, if you'd like to just check it out. The annual members meeting took place last Thursday in the Great Hall. Major motions were discussed and voted by students. We'll quickly go through some of the motions that were voted. Welsh Student Officer Rhys Jones proposed to amend the role of the Welsh Students Officer and change its title to Welsh Language Officer and be responsible for the interest and representation of all Welsh-speaking students. The motion was passed. VP Welfare Helen Dent asked for Student Union to sign time to change, pledge to take some form of action to tackle mental health. This motion was passed unanimously. Edore, the Sports and AU President, proposed to create a part-time office position to represent black and ethnic minority students, a motion that was passed as well. Another motion created a big debate on the VP Media Marketing role was proposed by our fantastic Adam Juice, LGBT and other officer, and our very own Head of Marketing for CUTV. He proposed to create a contractual clause that made sure the media and marketing officer spent equal amounts of time to each section of student media. This motion was amended. And now we are going to our fantastic and gorgeous Jess Barton for our very new and fantastic weather forecast, aren't we, Jess?
We are indeed. Thank you very much, James. Yes, CUTV News is introducing its latest and newest segment, and we're going to be covering the weather for all around Cardiff. Now, as you can see here, we have our beautiful Welsh cakes on Wales map, and you might be wondering why it starts with a W. Because the news show is live every Wednesday, we will be starting to look at the weather from Wednesday through to next Tuesday. So, today is Wednesday the 27th of November. It's still autumn, and considering the past month we've had, it's been pretty mild in comparison to past years. So the temperature for today has been at its lowest 6 degrees and at its highest 9 degrees. Now, overnight it's going to drop down to temperatures around 6 degrees, and it might feel a little bit colder. Unfortunately, that's due to the winds. It's been pretty bleak, and again, we're going to have the same outlook for tomorrow. It's going to be heavy clouds, and it's going to feel really dark and not too much sun out and about for us to go out and play in. And going on to Friday and over the weekend, Friday the cloud is going to lift ever so slightly. We're going to see temperatures going up to 9 degrees, which is a slight improvement on the past couple of days. And Saturday and Sunday, the sun will be coming out, which is absolutely fantastic. However, I must add that it's going to feel significantly colder. Temperatures going all the way down to 2 or 3 degrees, which is not really great, and we really are heading into winter and having wintry spells. And that's going to be made feeling even colder and even worse because there are going to be northwesterly winds heading in over Cardiff. Through to next week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see light to cloud and temperatures rising ever so slightly, so it might feel a little bit warmer. Maybe we won't have to get the bobbly hats out quite yet, but make sure you check out the news and weather next week where we'll have the latest updates for you.
Thank you very much for that, Jess. You were absolutely fantastic, and I loved that weather forecast. What did you think about it?
Yeah, that was really great.
I thought it
think much better than like, professional like other news channel-y weather forecast.
Despite her advice not to get the bobbly hats out, I must confess I do have a beanie and I love it to bits. So I might have to wear mine on them cold spells as well.
Yeah, just wears you whenever.
I thought it was fantastic though, presented by our lovely Jess
Yeah,
Barton.
it really was.
So we've had a great show today, haven't we?
Yes, we did.
And that's all for today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So if you like the news today, at us CUTV News, at Cardiff Union TV,
Cardiff Union TV,
hashtag CUTV News. And I've been James Ellis.
And I'm Suri.
Thanks so much.